Hello students, very warm welcome to all of you. Myself Krishnamurthy. Today we are going to discuss about some of the MCQs of thermodynamics. So let's begin with the MCQs. Right? See the first question. Thermodynamics is not concerned about. Very simple question. By the definition itself, we already know about this. Thermodynamics is not concerned about which one? See, energy changes involved in a chemical reaction, the extent to which a chemical reaction proceeds, the rate at which the reaction proceeds, the feasibility of the chemical reaction. So the first one, second one, and the last one. That means option A, okay, option A, option B, and option D. All are concerned about thermodynamics. Means whatever the process which are occurring in a thermodynamics. But option C is there. That is a chemical kinetics, the rate at which the reaction proceeds. Therefore, it is not the terminology which is concerned about thermodynamics. Okay. Next, the second question. Which of the following statements is not true regarding the law of thermodynamics? It deals with energy changes of macroscopic system. It deals with energy changes of microscopic system. It does not depends on the rate at which these energy transformation are carried out. It depends on initial and final state of the system undergoing the changes. They're asking not true. They're asking not true. Which one? See the first one. It deals with energy changes of macroscopic system. Of course, thermodynamics is going to deal about this one only, but not the microscopic system. The answer would be in this one only. Why? Because the laws of thermodynamics deals with energy changes of macroscopic system involving a large number of molecules rather than microscopic systems containing a few molecules. Okay, so the answer would be option B. Next, question number 3. A dash in thermodynamics refers to the part of the universe in which observations are made and the remaining universe constitutes. See that basic terminology, system and surroundings they are given. System is any specified part which is under thermodynamic study or observations are made. Therefore, that should be system. And the second one, it is going to be surroundings. Okay, system and surroundings. There are two such options we have, but we are going to that option B. Okay, the first one only. Next, that means option B is the answer. Fourth one, the universe refers to. Universe means system and surrounding, right? Combination of what? The universe. Remember, we should use the universe, which refers to system plus surroundings. Therefore, option C. Which of the following statements is correct? They're asking. The presence of reacting species in a covered beaker is an example of open system. There is an exchange of energy as well as matter between the system and the surroundings in a closed system. The presence of reactants in a closed vessel made up of copper is an example of closed system. The presence of reactants in a thermos flask or any other closed insulated vessel is an example of closed system. Can you make up which one is the correct one? Presence of reacting species in a covered beaker. Covered beaker, they are telling that means it should be a closed one. There is an exchange of energy as well as matter between the system and the surroundings is in a closed system. No, because in a closed system only energy changes but not the matter. The presence of reactants in a closed vessel made up of copper is an example of closed system. Therefore, option C is the correct answer. Got it? Next, thermos flask is an isolated system. Which of the following is closed system? Jet engine, tea placed in a steel kettle, pressure cooker, rocket engine during propulsion. So the answer should be closed system. That is option C, pressure cooker. There is no exchange of matter, but the heat is going to be exchanged. Okay, next. An isolated system is that system in which there is no exchange of energy with the surroundings. There is exchange of mass and energy with the surroundings. There is no exchange of mass or energy with the surroundings. Of course, isolated system is the one in which there is no exchange of matter or energy. So option C. Next, the state of a thermodynamic system is described by its measurable macroscopic or bulk properties. These are these are which are those? Already we have come across that one. That is pressure, volume, temperature, and amount of the substance. Therefore, option should be option B. Okay, right. Nodi, which of the following are not state functions? ಅವ್ರು ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರೋದನ್ನ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಯಾವುದಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. Q plus W, Q, W, H minus TS. H minus TS. ಅವ್ರು ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು ನೋಡಿ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಯಾಕೆ? ನೋಡಿ Q and W, they are the state function. They are not the state function, they are the path functions. ಆದರೆ Q plus W is a state function. Q plus W ಅನ್ನೋದು ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. H minus TS ಅನ್ನೋದು ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್. ಅವ್ರು ಕೇಳೋದೇನು? ನಾಟ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್. ದೇರ್ಫೋರ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ 2 and 3 should be there. H minus TS andre gives free energy. That's why it's not going to be the path function. Among the following, the state function or functions is internal energy, irreversible expansion work, reversible expansion work, and molar enthalpy. State functions ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. Okay, internal energy. Remember, energy terminologies ಎಲ್ಲೇ ಬಂದರೂ ಕೂಡ ಅದು ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ಗೆ ಆಡ್ ಅಪ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗಿ. ಇಂಟರ್ನಲ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿ U, irreversible expansion work, anything, that is W. This is also W, and this is molar enthalpy H ಅಂತ. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ್ದು ಬರಬೇಕು? 1 and 4 are ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್. ಇನ್ನಿದ್ದೆರಡು ಕೂಡ ಎರಡು ವರ್ಕ್ ಡನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಅದನ್ನೇನಂತ ಕರಿತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ? ಪಾತ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, ಎಂಥಾಲ್ಪಿ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಫ್ ಅ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಅಪಾನ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಇನಿಷಿಯಲ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್, ಫೈನಲ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್, ಬೋತ್ ಆನ್ ಇನಿಷಿಯಲ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಫೈನಲ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್, ನನ್ ಆಫ್ ದೀಸ್. ನಮಗೆ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಡೆಫಿನೇಷನ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ. ಇಟ್ ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಅಪಾನ್ ದ only initial and final state, but not on the path followed. Therefore, option C is the correct one. Next, 12th one. Dash is a quantity which represents the total energy of the system. Total energy. ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಸಿನಾಪ್ಸಿಸ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕಷನ್ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಿದೆ. Internal energy is going to be the sum of all sorts of energy. That means rotational, vibrational, translational, okay, ion, electronic, nuclear, like that. So option A. Which of the following factors affect the internal energy of the system? ಯಾವುದು internal energyನ affect ಮಾಡ್ತಿದೆ ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಾ? Heat passes into or out of the system. Work is done on or by the system. Matter enters or leaves the system. All of the above. Conditions discuss ಮಾಡುವಾಗ already ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಿದೆ. Internal energy changes when heat passes into the system, work is done on the system, and matter enters or leaves the system. Okay, so all of the above. Next, the system that would be that would not allow exchange of heat between the system and surrounding through its boundary is considered as ಏನಂತ ಕರೀತಾ ಇದೀವಿ? Isothermal. Delta T remains same. Adiabatic, delta Q is equal to 0. Isobaric, delta P is equal to 0. Isochoric, delta V is equal to 0. Therefore, ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಅನ್ನು ನಾವು ಅಡಿಯಾಬ್ಯಾಟಿಕ್ ಅನ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ನೋ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಫ್ ಹೀಟ್. ನಮಗ್ ಗೊತ್ತು, ಅವರೇ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ the system that would not allow exchange of heat between the system and surrounding through its boundary. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಅಡಿಯಾಬ್ಯಾಟಿಕ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಬಿ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, the enthalpy change of a reaction does not depend on the change of reactants and products, nature of reactants and products, different intermediate reactions, initial and final enthalpy change of a reaction. Another enthalpy change of a reaction does not depend upon the different intermediate reactions. Yake? Because it's going to be based on what? Hess law. Whether the reaction takes place in one step or in several steps, the total enthalpy change is going to be constant. Right? Next. The Q is dash when heat is transferred from the surroundings to the system. Surroundings to the system andre heat absorb ಆಗಿದೆಯಾ emit ಆಗಿದೆಯಾ ಅಲ್ವಾ? Absorbed. Therefore delta Q, that should be positive, and Q is dash when heat is transferred from system to surroundings. So this is the one. So option A ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ನೋಡಿ. Correct? Question number 17. Adiabatic expansions of an ideal gas is accompanied adiabatic ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಂತೆ? There is no exchange of heat, but adiabatic process ಅಲ್ಲಿ expansion of an ideal gas ಆದರೆ that's going to be called as ಏನಂತ ಕರೀತಾ ಇದೀವಿ? Decrease in delta E or delta U. ಯಾಕಂತೆ ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ delta E is equal to what? Delta Q minus W. For an adiabatic expansion ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ adiabatic ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದರೆ change in heat should be 0. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತಂತೆ? delta E is equal to minus W, negative. Okay, right. Therefore option A. Which of the following statements is incorrect? Q is a path dependent function. Correct? H is a state function. ನೋಡಿ ಒಂದ್ಸಲ. Both H and Q are state functions. Correct? Is incorrect ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ Q ಅನ್ನೋದು path function ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, H is a state function ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, because it depends on what? U, P and V. So all of which are going to be state function. ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದಲ್ವಾ? ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ no. Option Q path function incorrect. Statements is incorrect. Both A and B. So option C na ನೋಡಿ. Q is a path dependent function, H is a state function. Both H and Q are state functions anta ಇದೆ, therefore it is wrong. Option C. Figure below is showing that 1 mole of an ideal gas is fitted with a frictionless piston. Total volume of the gas is VI and pressure of the gas inside is P. If external pressure P external, which is greater than P, is applied, piston moved inward till the pressure inside becomes equal to PEX. What does the shaded area represents in the figure? ಏನನ್ನ represent ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ? By the derivation itself we know that one. P into delta V ante. That's going to be nothing but what? Work done. Okay. Next. When 1 mole of a gas is heated at constant volume, tumba important, constant volume, temperature is raised from 298 to 308 Kelvin. If heat supplied to the gas is 500 joule, then which statement is correct ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ನೋಡಿ, ಅವರೇ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಅಂತ. ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮೇ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ವರ್ಕ್ ಡನ್ ಏನಾಗಬೇಕಂತೆ? ದಟ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ 0. ಎಸ್ ಆರ್ ನೋ? ಎಸ್, ವರ್ಕ್ ಡನ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ 0. therefore ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ವರ್ಕ್ ಡನ್ ಇರೋದೇ ಆಗಂತೆ. ಇದೊಂದೇ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್. Next. The work done during the expansion of gas from a volume of 4 dm cube to 6 dm cube against a constant external pressure of 3 atmosphere is ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವ್ರು ಹೆಂಗ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಒಂದ್ಸಲ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡು, ನಮಗೆ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾನು ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ. W is equal to minus P into delta V ಅಂತ. That is equal to what? Minus pressure ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆಪ್ಪ? 3 into delta V ಅಂದ್ರೆ 6 minus 4, that is going to be equal to what? 2. ಅಷ್ಟು ಎಷ್ಟಂತೆ? -6 liter atmosphere. ಅವ್ರು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ರೆ 1 liter atmosphere ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಅಂತ. ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್. therefore W is equal to -6 into 101.32, that is equal to approximately 608 joules. So option B. Option B. Correct. Next. Which of the following statements is not correct in thermodynamics changes? Thermodynamics change alli yaudu correct alla anta. Okay. First one, delta U is equal to 0, isothermal reversible expansion of gas. Correct. W is equal to minus nRT into ln of V2 by V1. That's isothermal reversible expansion of an ideal gas. Negative. Correct. So that is the work done in a reversible process. That is correct. Is it? Okay, one second. Which of the following statements is not correct in thermodynamics changes? Yeah, one second. That is reversible expansion of an ideal gas. Okay, sorry. So that should be minus nRT into ln of V2 by V1 is there, plus nRT. Sorry, not minus. That is correct, but this one is wrong. Correct now? For a system of constant volume, heat involved directly changes into internal. Correct. So option C is the correct answer. That is not correct. Okay. Next. An ideal gas expands in volume from 1 into 10 to the power minus 3 to 1 into 10 to the power minus 2 meter cube at 300 Kelvin against a constant pressure of 1 into 10 to the power of 5 Newton meter to the power minus 2. The work done is ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ W is equal to ಏನಂತ ಬರ್ಕೋಣ minus P into delta V. That's nothing but what? Minus P ಅಂದ್ರೆ minus 10 to the power of 5, 10 to the power of 5, correct? Into 1 minus 1 into 1 into 10 to the power minus 2 minus 1 into 10 to the power minus 3. So final answer would be correct ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ that's going to be minus 900 joules ಬಂದಿರುತ್ತೆ. minus 900 ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಸಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ನೋಡಿ. ಫೈನಲ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಬರ್ತಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಇನ್ವಾಲ್ವ್ಡ್ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ನೀವು ಬರ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, the difference between delta H and delta U is usually significant for systems containing ಯಾವ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ಗೆ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಸಾಲಿಡ್ಸ್, ಓನ್ಲಿ ಲಿಕ್ವಿಡ್ಸ್, ಬೋತ್ ಸಾಲಿಡ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಲಿಕ್ವಿಡ್ಸ್, ಓನ್ಲಿ ಗ್ಯಾಸಸ್ ಅಂತ. ಹಾಗಿದ್ರೆ ಯಾವುದಕ್ಕೆ delta H and delta U usually significant, correct? Therefore that is for what? Only gases. Sarina? Next, question number 25. If a reaction involves only solids and liquids, which of the following is true? Delta H is less than delta E, delta H is equal to delta E, delta H is greater than delta E, and delta H is equal to delta E plus delta N into RT. So the answer would be delta H andre ಏನಪ್ಪ? Delta H is equal to delta E plus P into delta V. So one second. Yeah, ಯಾವುದಕ್ಕಿದು? ಸಾಲಿಡ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಲಿಕ್ವಿಡ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್. ಫಾರ್ ಸಾಲಿಡ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಲಿಕ್ವಿಡ್ ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತು, in this one there is no change in volume, delta V remains same ante. That means delta V is equal to 0 and delta H is equal to ಏನಾಗುತ್ತಂತೆ delta E plus what? Delta N into RT, correct? Therefore ಏನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ನೋಡಿ, it's going to be option B. ಹೌದಾ? Right. Next, question number 26. During isothermal expansion of an ideal gas, it's ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. It's isothermal expansion. ನೋಡೋಣ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ಐಸೋಥರ್ಮಲ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ನೋಡಿ, ಡೆಲ್ಟಾ T is equal to 0. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ H is equal to E plus PV. Delta H is equal to delta E plus P into V, delta PV. Okay, then after this, delta P into V, in place of that can we substitute delta N into RT, delta E, delta H. Therefore delta H is equal to delta E plus delta N into RT. Now tell me, therefore delta T is equal to 0 andre delta H is also equal to delta H. Okay, therefore ಏನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. Enthalpy remains unaffected, correct? Temperature remains constant, therefore enthalpy is going to be what? Unaffected. Next, assume each reaction is carried out in an open system, open container, for which reaction will delta H is equal to delta E. ನಿಮಗೊಂದು ಚಿಕ್ಕದಾಗಿರುವಂತ ಒಂದು ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ತಗೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ನೋಡಿ. ಈ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಆಗಿ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋದು ಡೆಲ್ಟಾ ಎನ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಡೆಲ್ಟಾ ಎನ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಎನ್ ಆಫ್ ಗ್ಯಾಸಸ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ. Number of moles of gaseous product minus number of moles of gaseous reactant. So in the first one, ಎಲ್ಲ gases ಇದೆ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. 2 moles plus 1 mole 3 ಆಯ್ತಾ, that is equal to 3 minus 2 mole plus 0 moles. Why? It is a solid. We are not considering that. ಎಷ್ಟಾಯ್ತು? That is equal to 3. ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದಾರಂತೆ delta H should be delta E. ಯಾಕಂತೆ delta H is equal to delta E plus delta N into RT. Right? Next, ಹಾಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲದಕ್ಕೂ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಬಂದ್ರೆ we will be getting that one. 2 moles minus 2 moles is equal to 0 ಬರುತ್ತೆ delta N. ಆ delta N ಬಂದಾಗ delta H is equal to delta E. Right? Next, for the reaction CO plus half O2 giving rise to CO, which of the statements is correct at constant temperature and pressure? ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ ನೋಡಿ, ಗ್ಯಾಸಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಗ್ಯಾಸಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಗ್ಯಾಸಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಡೆಲ್ಟಾ ಎನ್ ಇಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು 1 minus 1.5, that is equal to what? 1/2. Delta n is equal to that much. Therefore, delta H is equal to delta E minus half into RT. That implies that delta E is greater than delta H. Right? Option ಯಾವ್ದು ಬರುತ್ತೆ ನೋಡಿ, delta E is greater than delta H. Option B na? Correct. Yes. Next. ಈಗ ನೋಡೋಣ the next one. Question number 29. For a reaction in which all reactants and products are liquids, which one of the following equation is most applicable? ಯಾವ್ದು ಅಪ್ಲಿಕಬಲ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಇಷ್ಟರಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್? ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ when all the reactants and products are liquids ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಬರೋದೇ ನಮಗೆ delta n of what? Gases. That will be 0. ನಮಗೊಂದು ಈಕ್ವೇಶನ್ ಗೊತ್ತು, delta H is equal to delta E plus minus. ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾ? ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಡೆಲ್ಟಾ ಎನ್ ಇಂಟು ಆರ್ ಟಿ. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಡೆಲ್ಟಾ ಎನ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? 0. ಡೆಲ್ಟಾ ಎಚ್ ಇಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು ಡೆಲ್ಟಾ ಇ. ಇನ್ ಟೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಬುಕ್, instead of delta E, they may give delta U also, delta U internal energy. Okay, right. Next, so option ಯಾವ್ದು ಬರುತ್ತೆ ನೋಡಿ? Option C. Next, question number 30. The relationship between enthalpy change and internal energy change is, enthalpy change ಅಂದ್ರೆ delta H, internal energy change ಅಂದ್ರೆ delta E. So that answer would be delta H is equal to delta E plus P into delta V. So answer ಯಾವ್ದಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ? Option A. Next one. For the reaction C3H8 plus 5O2 giving rise to CO2 plus 4H2O at constant temperature, delta H minus delta E is ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಆಲ್ ನಾವು ಈ ಈಕ್ವೇಶನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಡೆಲ್ಟಾ ಎನ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂನ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಮೋಲ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ ನೋಡು, 3 plus 4. ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಇದು ಲಿಕ್ವಿಡ್ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ we are not considering this one. So only 3 moles products minus reactants ಎರಡು ಕೂಡ ಏನಂತ, that is going to be gases. 5 plus 1, yeah, 6. So minus 3 ಬರ್ತಾರೆ. Delta H is equal to delta E plus minus 3 RT. So delta H minus delta E is equal to what? Minus 3 RT. Is the answer. So option C. Next, consider the reaction N2 plus 3H2 giving rise to 2NH3 carried out at constant temperature and pressure. If delta H and delta U are the enthalpy and internal energy changes for the reaction, which of the following expression is true? ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ನೋಡಿ, ಇಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತು, ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಗ್ಯಾಸಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಡ. ಡೆಲ್ಟಾ ಎನ್ ಆಫ್ ಗ್ಯಾಸಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು 2 minus 4, that is equal to -2. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತು delta U is equal to, delta H is equal to delta U minus 2 RT, or delta U is equal to delta H plus 2 RT. ಈಗ ಹೇಳಿ, ಯಾವುದು ಯಾವುದಕ್ಕಿಂತನೂ ದೊಡ್ಡದಾಗಿದೆ? ಡೆಲ್ಟಾ ಯು ಇಸ್ ಗ್ರೇಟರ್ ದ್ಯಾನ್ ಡೆಲ್ಟಾ ಎಚ್. ಸೊ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಬಿ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, ಅಮಾಂಗ್ ದ ಫಾಲೋಯಿಂಗ್ ದ ಇಂಟೆನ್ಸಿವ್ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟೀಸ್ ಆರ್. ಇಂಟೆನ್ಸಿವ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಂಡಿಪೆಂಡೆಂಟ್ ಆನ್ ದ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್. ಇದು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋ 4ರಲ್ಲಿ molar conductivity, electromotive force, resistance, heat capacity. ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಾ? Intensive property. They are independent on the amount of the substance. ಸೊ ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ mass independent properties are intensive properties ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. Resistance and heat capacities are mass dependent, hence extensive property. ಸೊ ಯಾವ್ದಾಗಬೇಕು? 1 and 2 ಆಗಬೇಕು. ಓಕೆನಾ? ಸೊ let us do this one as 1 and this one as 2. Yeah. So answer would be option A. Next, which one is an extensive property of the system? Extensive property ಯಾವುದು ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. The volume ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ. Volume ಅನ್ನೋದೇನಂತೆ? Extensive property because it depends on the amount of the substance which is present. Next, 35. Which of the following is an example of extensive property? ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಾ? That should be mass. Okay. Which of the following factors do not affect heat capacity? Heat capacity, CP or CV. Size of the system, composition of the system, nature of system, temperature of the system. Correct? So it should be option D, temperature. Option D, temperature. Next, equal volumes of two monoatomic gases A and B at the same temperature and pressure are mixed. The ratio of specific heats of the mixture will be ಇಷ್ಟಿರುತ್ತಂತೆ. Equal volumes of monoatomic gases A and B na they have just kept at what? Temperature and pressure. The ratio of the specific heat of the mixture will be. Next, ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ CP and CB ನೋಡೋಣಂತೆ heat capacity. CP by CB is equal to 5/2 into R divided by 3/2 into R. That is equal to 5/3 is equal to 1.67. ಬರೀಬಹುದಾ? 1.67. Next, the molar heat capacity of water at constant pressure is 75 joule per Kelvin per mole. When 1 kilojoule of heat is supplied to 100 gram of water, which is free to expand, the increase in temperature of water is. ಹೇಗೆ ಮಾಡೋದು? ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಅನ್ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಏನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ? ಹೀಟ್ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿ ಅಟ್ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ನ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ದಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಸಿಪಿ ನ 75 kilojoules per mole. Correct? Next, therefore, number of moles is equal to ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆಯಂತೆ 100 ಗ್ರಾಮ್. ಮಾಸ್ ಬೈ ಮೋಲಾರ್ ಮಾಸ್. ಮಾಸ್ ಎಷ್ಟು? 1000 divided by 18, 1 mole. Therefore, Q is equal to ಎಷ್ಟು ಬರುತ್ತೆ? Q 1 kilojoule. That means 1000 joules. Therefore, delta T is equal to what? ನಮಗೊಂದು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಷನ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ. Q is equal to N into Cp into delta T. Therefore, 1000 into 18 divided by 100 into 75. ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ನೋಡಿ, 1000 into 75, sorry, 1000 into 18 divided by 100 into 75. Approximately its value is going to be 2.4 Kelvin. Okay, right. Calorie is equivalent to 1 calorie is equal to 4.184 joule. Okay, 1 calorie is. Therefore, answer ಏನು ಬರುತ್ತೆ? 4.184. Option B na. Next, question number 41. Which of the following is not true regarding thermochemical equation ಅಂತ ನೋಡಿ ಮಕ್ಕಳ. ಒಂದ್ಸಲ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ಓದ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಓದಿದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಸೊ ನಾನು ಆನ್ಸರ್ನ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ, ನೋಡುವ. ಸೊ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಬಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ನೋಡಿ. ದ ಕೋಎಫಿಷಿಯಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಎ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ಡ್ thermochemical equation refers to the number of molecules of reactants and products involved in the reaction. Correct? Correct ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಕೇಳಿರೋದೇನಂತೆ? ನಾಟ್ ಟ್ರೂ. The coefficients in a balanced thermochemical equation refers to the number of moles of reactants and products involved in the reaction. Correct. ಕೊನೆಯದು standard enthalpy change delta H will have units as kilojoule per mole. Kilojoule per mole. Right, option B is the answer. Next, the enthalpies of elements in their standard states are taken as 0. The enthalpy of formation of compound will be ಏನಾಗಿರ್ಬೇಕಂತ ನೋಡಿ. May be positive or may be negative. Okay. So the next one, the enthalpies of formation of C2H4, CO2 and H2O at 25 degrees Celsius and 1 atmospheric pressure are 52, 394 and 286 kilojoule per mole respectively. The change in enthalpy is equal to ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋ equation ಒಂದ್ಸಲ ಬರ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣಂತೆ. According to his law only we are doing C2H4 plus 3O2 giving rise to 2CO2 plus 2H2. ಹಾಕಿದ್ರೆ ನೋಡೋಣ. ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತು change in enthalpy delta H is equal to delta H of products minus delta H of reactants. Okay, therefore enthalpy of product is going to be 2 into minus 394 plus 2 into minus 286 minus 52 plus 0, 52. Therefore, it is going to be 52 plus 0. So the answer is very simple, minus 1.1412 kilojoule per mole. ಡೆಲ್ಟಾ H is equal to ನೋಡಿ ಈ ತರ ಮಾಡೋದು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋ ಇಕ್ವೇಶನ್ ಬರ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಎಂಥಾಲ್ಪಿ ಆಫ್ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ ಮೈನಸ್ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬರೀಬಹುದು ಇಲ್ಲಾಂದ್ರೆ ಹೆಸ್ತ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬರೀಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇನ್ವಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ ಸೊ ಟೈಮ್ ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗೋ ಚಾನ್ಸಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಸೊ ವಿಲ್ ಯೂಸ್ ದಿಸ್ ಒನ್ ಡೆಲ್ಟಾ H ಆಫ್ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ ಮೈನಸ್ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಟೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ನಂಬರ್ 44 ಅಂತ The enthalpy change for a reaction does not depend on use of different reactants for the same product, the nature of intermediate reaction steps, the differences in initial or final temperatures of involved substances. The last one is the physical states of the reactants and products. We know that one, the enthalpy change, delta H for this one. We have an idea that delta H is a state function which is going to be dependent on, remember, H2 minus H1. Okay, but not on the path followed. That means the enthalpy change for a reaction does not depend upon the right difference in initial or final temperatures involved in the substance, the nature of intermediate reactions. That means it depends upon the correct final and initial states of the system, but not on the intermediate steps. That's why Hessla, by that one, we can give that one B. Option B is the answer. Okay, next one. On the basis of thermochemical equations 1, 2, and 3, find out which of the algebraic relationship is given. Given in option A to D is correct. Carbon combines with oxygen to form CO2. Delta H is going to be X kilojoule. Carbon plus half O2 giving rise to CO. That's enthalpy of the reaction is Y kilojoule. CO plus half O2 giving rise to CO2. Delta H is equal to Z. So the option will be ನೋಡಂತ ಏನಾಗಿರಬಹುದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ carbon which is going to converting into carbon dioxide in one step, whereas these two are the combination of the steps for the formation of CO2 only. Therefore here X kilojoule is there and here Y and Z kilojoules are there, so that X should be the summation of Y and Z. Then right. Next, given that bond enthalpies of hydrogen chlorine are 430 kilojoule per mole and 240 kilojoule per mole, and delta H for HCl is minus 90 kilojoule per mole, ಹಾಗಿದ್ರೆ ಬಾಂಡ್ ಎಂಥಾಲ್ಪಿ ಏನಾಗಬೇಕಂತೆ? ಓಕೆನಾ? ರೈಟ್, ಬಾಂಡ್ ಎಂಥಾಲ್ಪಿ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತು ಏನೇನು ಈಕ್ವೇಶನ್ ಇದೆ ನೋಡಿ. ದಟ್ಸ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಹಾಫ್ H2 ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಹಾಫ್ Cl2. ಕ್ಲೋರಿನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಹೈಡ್ರೋಜನ್ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಇದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನ್ ಬರಬೇಕು? HCl. ಅವರೇ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಎಂಥಾಲ್ಪಿ ಆಫ್ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಆಫ್ HCl ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದೇ ಮೋಲ್ ಬರಬೇಕಂತೆ. ಈಗ ನೋಡೋಣ, ಡೆಲ್ಟಾ H ಆಫ್ HCl is equal to what? Summation of bond enthalpy of reactant minus summation of bond enthalpy of product. ಓಕೆ, ಹಾಗಿದ್ರೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗೋಣಂತೆ. ಸಮೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಏನೇನ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ? minus 90 is equal to half into reactant ಏನೇನಿದೆ ನೋಡಿ 430 into 430 plus half into 240 minus bond enthalpy of HCl. Therefore bond enthalpy of HCl is equal to how much? 250 plus 120 plus 90, that is equal to 425 kilojoule per mole. So option B is only. Sign wise we should be very careful, right? Yeah. Next, question number 47. ಈ question number 47 ನಾವು observe ಮಾಡಬೇಕಿರೋದು bond dissociation enthalpy of hydrogen, chlorine and HCl are. ಅವಾಗ ಎಂಥಾಲ್ಪಿ ಆಫ್ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಆಫ್ HCl ಎಷ್ಟು ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಸರಿನಾ? ಸೊ ದಟ್ಸ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಬಿ, ಈಗ ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ H2 plus Cl2 giving rise to 2HCl. That's this one H giving plus Cl giving rise to H and Cl. Therefore, enthalpy 2 moles should be found for HCl. That is going to be equal to minus of, yes, enthalpy of enthalpy of formation of HCl they are giving. So HCl is equal to what? Minus of 862 minus 676, that is equal to minus 186 kilojoule. Minus 186 kilojoule. ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೋ, ತಗೊಂಡಿರೋದು ಎಷ್ಟು ಮೋಲ್ಸ್ಗೆ? ಇಷ್ಟು ಮೋಲ್ಸ್ಗೆ. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ 1 mole of HCl is equal to ಎಷ್ಟು? That is going to be equal to minus 93 kilojoule. Okay, next. ಬಂತಪ್ಪ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಬಿ ಎಲ್ ಸಿ ಎಲ್. ಆನ್ಸರ್ಗಳನ್ನ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗಿ. From the following bond energies, correct, can you calculate enthalpy of the reaction? Okay, by using his law. So I'll write directly. You keep on doing that one. Let's see how many of people will solve this one. Very simple. Each bond enthalpy is there given. Total bond enthalpy minus intermediate bond enthalpy, you will get that. That is okay, right? ಆಮೇಲೆ ಹೇಳಂತೆ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಬಾಂಡ್ ಎಂಥಾಲ್ಪಿ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಒಂದೊಂದು ಬಾಂಡ್ ಎಂಥಾಲ್ಪೀಸ್ ಎಷ್ಟಿರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಅವೆಲ್ಲ ಸಮೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ಟೋಟಲ್ ಬಾಂಡ್ ಎಂಥಾಲ್ಪಿ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆನಾ? ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಒಂದು ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್. Yeah, so answer for question number 48 is equal to ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಾ bond enthalpy of reactants minus bond enthalpy of product. Therefore, final answer would be minus 120 kilojoule. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಇದನ್ನು ನೀವು ಹೋಮ್ವರ್ಕ್ ಅಂತಾನೆ ತಗೋಬೋದಾ? ಮಾಡಿ ನೋಡೋಣ. ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. You should get the same answer, minus 120 kilojoule. The following two reactions are known. The value of delta H for the following reaction is delta H ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. So very simple. Fe2O3 plus CO giving rise to 2FeO plus CO. Delta H is equal to minus 286 plus 33, that is equal to plus 6.2 kilojoule. Okay na? ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋ equation ನೋಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. Way of solving ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು. Consider the following process: half A giving rise to B, 3B giving rise to 2C plus D, E plus A giving rise to 2D. However, for the reaction B plus D giving rise to E plus 2C, delta H will be. So let us see that. Delta H can be given by half A giving rise to B plus let's put here for 150. ಅದೇ ತರ 3B giving rise to 2C plus D. Delta H is equal to minus 125. Next, E plus A giving rise to 2D, that is equal to plus 350. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಬೇಕಿರೋ ಈಕ್ವೇಶನ್ ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಈಕ್ವೇಶನ್ ಬರಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿರೋ ಈಕ್ವೇಶನ್ಗಳನ್ನೇ ಆಲ್ಟರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ವಿ ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ ಯಾವ ಈಕ್ವೇಶನ್ ಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋದು? ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಬಿ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಡಿ ಗಿವಿಂಗ್ ರೇಸ್ ಟು ಇ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಟು ಸಿ. ಹಾಗಿದ್ರೆ ಆ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಫಿಟ್ ಆಗೋ ಥರ ಬರ್ಕೊಂತ ಹೋಗೋಣಂತೆ. ಲೆಟ್ ಅಸ್ ಟೇಕ್ ದಿಸ್ ಒನ್ as equation 1, equation 2 and equation 3 ಅಂತ ತಗೊಂಡಿರ್ತೀವಿ. ಹಾಗಿದ್ರೆ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಬರೋಣಂತೆ. ಡೆಲ್ಟಾ ಎಚ್ ಇಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು ಡೆಲ್ಟಾ ಎಚ್ 300 ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಬರ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಲ್ಲ. Yeah, no, no. Therefore, to calculate delta H, we have to write this one 2 into equation 1 plus equation 2 minus equation 3. Therefore, that is delta H is equal to 300 minus 125 minus 150. That is equal to minus 175. Okay, next 51. Delta H for CO2, CO and H2O are there. The standard enthalpy change in the formation in the or in kJ for the reaction. Delta H, we know that one already, the formula enthalpy of products. Delta H, that is equal to summation of delta H naught of product minus summation of delta H naught of reactant. Okay, therefore enthalpy of the reaction delta H is equal to delta H of delta H of formation of what? Products minus reactants ಆಯ್ತು. Delta HF of CO plus delta HF or H naught F of CO ಆಯ್ತು. ಯಾವ ಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋದು? Okay, right. CO and H2. Correct. That is equal to ಎಷ್ಟು ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ? Delta H is 41.2 kilojoule. Okay na? A standard values na substitute ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, then you will get that answer. Okay na makla? Right. Question number 52. If enthalpies of formation of ethene, CO2 and H2O are 25 degrees Celsius and 1 atmospheric pressure are 52 and 394 minus 395 kilojoules respectively, the change in enthalpy is equal to change in enthalpy. ಹೇಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? Therefore ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋ equation ನೋಡ್ಕೊ ಏನಿದೆ, ಡೆಲ್ಟಾ ಅಥವಾ C2 H4 plus 3O2 giving raised to 2CO2 plus 2H2. ನೋಡಿ ಈಕ್ವೇಶನ್ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ಕೊಂಡಿದೆ. ಹಾಗಿದ್ರೆ ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತು ಈ ಈಕ್ವೇಶನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಡೆಲ್ಟಾ ಎಚ್ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ? ಡೆಲ್ಟಾ ಎಚ್ ಆಫ್ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ ಮೈನಸ್ ಡೆಲ್ಟಾ ಎಚ್ ಆಫ್ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು 2 into minus 394 plus 2 into minus 286 plus that is going to be 52 plus 0. It can be equal to, or it will be equal to after my this one calculation minus 1412 kilojoule. Right? If you got this answer, that will be the correct one. Option B. Correct? 52, option B. Next, His law is used to calculate. ಏನನ್ನ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ? For calculating enthalpies of the reaction. So option A. Next, which thermochemical process is shown by the following figures? Right? X is converting into Y, Y is converting in X is converting into Y, Y is converting into Q, Q and P are interconvertible, P and Q are interconvertible. Correct? Therefore, next, we know that one X is the ಏನಂತ ಕರಿತಾ ಇದೀವಿ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ ಅದೇ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ y ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, that is delta H will be there. Next is going to be x is giving rise to delta H1 P, delta H2 Q giving rise to ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗಿ delta H3 y, delta H3 divided by ಸಾಕು delta H3 ಸಾಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಈಗ ನೋಡೋಣಂತೆ Hess law of constant heat summation ಗೆ ಬರುತ್ತಲ್ವಾ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ. Correct? Yes, option C. The enthalpy change on breaking 1 mole of bonds completely to obtain atoms in the gaseous phase is known as. ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ ನಮಗೆ 1 mole of bonds ಅನ್ನ ಬ್ರೇಕ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ it should be enthalpy of what? Atomization. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ದದ್ದು ಆಟಮ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಆದ್ರೆ ಅದನ್ನೇನಂತ ಕರಿತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ? ಎಂಥಾಲ್ಪಿ ಆಫ್ ಆಟಮೈಸೇಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಸರಿ ಮಕ್ಕಳ, ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಹೋಗೋಣಂತೆ. Question number 56. Which of the following statements is true for the given reaction? Sodium solid is converting into sodium gas. Delta H is equal to 108.4 kilojoule per mole. ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ equation. This is nothing but a sublimation process. Correct? The enthalpy of atomization is same as the enthalpy of sublimation. Therefore, option is going to be what? Option B. Okay. Next. The heat of combustion of a substance is always positive, always negative, numerically equal to the heat of formation, unpredictable ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. Enthalpy of combustion, ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ combustion ಆದ್ರೆ heat produce ಆಗೇ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Heat produce ಆದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನ ಏನಂತ ಕರಿತಾ ಇದೀವಿ? Exothermic ಅಂತ ಕರಿತಾ ಇದೀವಿ. That's called exothermic. If you are calling it as an exothermic, delta H should be always negative. Okay. Next. During complete combustion of 1 mole of butane, 2658 kilojoules of heat is released. The thermochemical reaction for above change is going to be released in the sense what? Minus. So we are just considering only the two equations, the first one and the third one. I'm just ruling out these two because they only telling how many moles during the complete combustion of 1 mole of butane. Dear students, combustion anta bandre ನಾವು ಯಾವ ಕಡೆ ನೋಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲ, ರಿಯಾಕ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ನೋಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಬ್ಯೂಟೇನ್ ಇಸ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಕಂಬಷನ್. ಐ ಆಮ್ ರೂಲಿಂಗ್ ಔಟ್ ದೀಸ್ ಟು. ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾ? ಬೇಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಸಾರಿ, ಒಂದು ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್, ಬೇಕಲ್ಲ. We are just considering 1 and 3 ಅವೆರಡನ್ನು ಮಾತ್ರ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತೀವಿ. ಕಂಬಷನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಓನ್ಲಿ 1 mole of the compound should undergo complete combustion ಅಂತ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ 2 moles ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, so that is wrong one. So option C should be the correct one. ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾ? ಎಸ್, ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಎಂಥಾಲ್ಪಿ ಆಫ್ ಕಂಬಷನ್, ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಅವೆಲ್ಲ ಓದಿರ್ತೀರ. ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೋ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ ಒಂದೇ ಮೋಲ್ ಬರ್ತಿದೆ. That means we are just speaking with respect to what? The products. When only 1 mole of the product is formed, that is called enthalpy of formation. Whereas only 1 mole of the reactant is undergoing combustion in the presence of oxygen means that is going to be what? Enthalpy of combustion. Therefore, option C ಆಗಿತ್ತು answer. Next one. Given that heat of neutralization of strong acid and strong base is minus 57.1 kilojoule, the heat produced when 0.25 mole 0.25 mole of HCl is neutralized with 0.25 mole of NaOH in aqueous solution is, ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಕಾನ್ಸಂಟ್ರೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಎರಡರದ್ದು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, that is equal to 0.25 mole and the concentration of HCl ಅಂದ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದು, concentration of NaOH ಅದು ಕೂಡ ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ ಅಂತೆ -0.25 mole ಇದೆ ಅಂತೆ. Enthalpy of neutralization delta HN they are given, that is equal to what, minus 57.1 kilojoule. ನಮಗೊಂದು equation ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ, HCl plus NaOH giving rise to NaCl plus H2. ಹೌದಾ? ಈಗ ನೋಡುತ್ತೆ, 1 mole of HCl neutralizes 1 mole of NaOH to produce ಎಷ್ಟಂತೆ minus 57.1 kilojoule. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ 0.25 moles combines with are required to completely combine with combining with 0.25 mole of NaOH. ಹಾಗಿದ್ರೆ that is going to be equal to 1 mole ಗಾದ್ರೆ ಅಷ್ಟು 57.1 into 0.5 moles ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, 0.25 moles, that is equal to 14.275 kilojoule. Okay, now that is going to be option A. Okay, next question number 60. For most of the ionic compound, delta H sol andre enthalpy of solution is going to be what, endothermic andre positive irutta negative irutta. Most of the ionic compounds, delta H sol is going to be what, no, that's going to be positive, and the dissociation process is endothermic. Correct, option C. Option C. Pick out the wrong statement ante, ಇದನ್ನ ಹುಡುಕೋದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಟೈಮ್ ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಬೇಡ. ಓಕೆ, ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಯಾವ್ದಿರ್ಬೋದು, the process that leads to increase in free energy will be spontaneous. Increase ಅಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ, decrease in free energy. Increase ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಹಾಗಾಗಿ identify the correct statement for the change of Gibbs free energy for a system at constant temperature and pressure. Okay, so the answer will be, correct statement they are asking, yes, option A. Nodi, if delta G of the system is equal to 0, the system has attained equilibrium. Next, question number 63. Identify the correct statement regarding a spontaneous process. ಯಾವ್ದಿರ್ಬೋದು, lowering of energy in the process is the only criterion for spontaneity. For a spontaneous process in an isolated system, the change in entropy is positive. The endothermic process are never spontaneous. Exothermic processes are always spontaneous. Correct statement regarding a spontaneous process ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಾ? Spontaneity ಅನ್ನೋದೇನಂತೆ, which depends on tendency to acquire minimum energy state. ಹೌದಾ? ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್. ಹಾಗಿದ್ರೆ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನರ್ಥ, ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಬಿ ಇಸ್ ದ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಒನ್. ನೋಡಿ, ಎಂಟ್ರೋಪಿ ಇಸ್ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್, ಎಂಥಾಲ್ಪಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೇಳೋದಲ್ಲಿ ಎಂಟ್ರೋಪಿ, ಸೊ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಬಿ. ಹೌದಾ? ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, a chemical reaction will be spontaneous if it is accompanied by a decrease of ಯಾವ್ದಂತ, ಫ್ರೀ ಎನರ್ಜಿ. ಓ, ಹೇಳಿಬಿಟ್ನಾ? ರೈಟ್. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಎಂಟ್ರೋಪಿ ಆಫ್ ದ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್, ಎಂಥಾಲ್ಪಿ ಆಫ್ ದ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್, ಇಂಟರ್ನಲ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಅಂಡ್ ಫ್ರೀ ಎನರ್ಜಿ. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಸ್ಪಾಂಟೇನಿಯಸ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗಿರ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತು, ದ ಫ್ರೀ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಆಫ್ ದ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಲೆಸ್ಸರ್ ಆರ್ ಡಿಕ್ರೀಸಸ್. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, which of the following in which of the following entropy what decreases ಯಾವ್ದ್ರ ಡಿಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಕ್ರಿಸ್ಟಲೈಸೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಸುಕ್ರೋಸ್ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ರಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ಐರನ್ ಮೆಲ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ಐಸ್ ವೇಪರೈಸೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಕ್ಯಾಂಫರ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಎ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ನೋಡಿ ಕ್ರಿಸ್ಟಲೈಸೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಸುಕ್ರೋಸ್ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಲಿಕ್ವಿಡ್ ಇದೇನಾಯ್ತು ಸಾಲಿಡ್ ಆಯ್ತು ಎ ಸ್ಪಾಂಟೇನಿಯಸ್ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಇಸ್ ಇಂಪಾಸಿಬಲ್ ಇಫ್ ಯೂಶುವಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಡೆಲ್ಟಾ ಎಚ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಡೆಲ್ಟಾ ಎಸ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಅಂತೀವಿ ಅದೇ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಇದು ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಆಗಿ ಇದು ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಆದ್ರೆ ಯಾವುದೇ ಕಾರಣಕ್ಕೂ ಏನಾಗಲ್ಲಂತೆ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಸ್ಪಾಂಟೇನಿಯಸ್ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್ ಡೆಲ್ಟಾ ಎಚ್ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ ಡೆಲ್ಟಾ ಎಸ್ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ ಆಗ್ತಿತ್ತು ಇಂಪಾಸಿಬಲ್ ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅವರಲ್ಲಿ ಸೊ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಡಿ ಈಸ್ ದ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತಿದಲ್ವಾ 66 ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಡಿ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಗ್ಯಾಸ್ ಫೇಸ್ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ PCl5 giving rise to what PCl3 plus Cl2 which of the following conditions are correct ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಹೇಳೋದು ಓಕೆ ರೈಟ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೋಲ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂತ ಬರೋಣಂತೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೋಲ್ಸ್ ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ 1 ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೋಲ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ 1 ಪ್ಲಸ್ 1 2 ಮೋಲ್ಸ್ ಇದೆಯಂತೆ ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾ ರೈಟ್ ಹಾಗಿದ್ರೆ ಈ ಕೇಸಲ್ಲಿ ಡೆಲ್ಟಾ ಎನ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಏನು ಬರುತ್ತೆ 2 minus 1 is equal to 1. Therefore, number of molecules are present in the products which show more randomness, right? Therefore, delta S ಅನ್ನೋದೇನಾಗಿರುತ್ತಂತೆ it is greater than 0. ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಬಿ ನೇ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೇಕು ನೋಡಿ ಎಂಟ್ರೋಪಿ ಇರೋದೇ ಒಂದೇ ಒಂದು ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಇರೋದು ಓಕೆ the factor of delta G values is important in metallurgy. The delta G values for the following reactions at 800 degrees Celsius are given below. Then delta G for the reaction will be. Okay, next. ಯಾವ್ದಾಗಬಹುದು ಹೇಳೋಣ right so ZNS. Let us consider this one as equation. ಹೇಗಾಗಿ ಆರ್ಡರಲ್ಲಿ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಆಯ್ತು it's going to be option this one ಅಂತ ತಗೋಣಪ್ಪ zinc plus oxygen equation 2 ಅಂತ ತಗೋ ಇದನ್ನ equation 1 ಅಂತ ತಗೋ ಇದನ್ನ equation 3 ಅಂತ ತಗೋ ಅವ್ರು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋದನ್ನು ಡೆಲ್ಟಾ ZNS ಗೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ zinc sulfide undergoing combustion with what oxygen ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಹಾಗಿದ್ರೆ ಆನ್ಸರ್ that will be equal to delta G naught is equal to 293 minus 480 minus 544 that is equal to minus 731 kilojoule. Okay na delta G naught higher factor of delta G naught andre that's going to be free energy change. Okay right next one other option ಯಾವ್ದು ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ option B identify the correct statement regarding entropy ಅಂತ ಇದೆ entropy at absolute zero temperature entropy of a perfect crystalline substance is taken to 0. Okay na option A ನೋಡಿ next question number 70 unit of entropy is unit of entropy that is going to be joule per Kelvin per mole. So ಇದಿಷ್ಟು ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ರಿವೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಮುಂದಿನ ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ನಷ್ಟು MCQ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಬರ್ತೇನೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೂ ಟೇಕ್ ಕೇರ್ signing off Krishnamurthy. Okay, have a nice day. Thank you.